I didn't notice the first breath because it sounded like every other call, air rushing through a cheap phone mic, the kind of noise you learn to ignore on night shift. Then the whisper came, so close to the receiver it felt like it was inside my ear. "Please," the woman said, "I need you to listen. He's here. He's in my house." I sat up straighter. The fluorescent lights above my desk hummed the same way they always did, like insects trapped behind plastic. My screen glowed with the incoming line. No name, no address, just a number and a location ping that wavered. Once, twice, like it couldn't decide where it belonged. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my voice steady, warm, practiced. "You did the right thing calling. I'm here with you. What's your address?" There was a pause, a small, polite pause after "please," like she expected someone to interrupt, like she'd rehearsed the moment. "I can't say it out loud," she whispered. Her voice trembled. "He'll hear me." In the background, there was nothing. No footsteps, no creak of floorboards, no TV. The kind of quiet you only get when someone is holding their breath. I leaned closer to the mic. "Okay, then don't say it out loud. Can you type it? If you can text, do it. If not, give me a landmark, a street name, anything." Another pause. Then she said, I, I don't know if I'm allowed." "Allowed by who?" Her breath hitched. "By them." My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Every operator learns to distinguish panic from performance. Panic is messy. It stumbles. It repeats itself by accident. Performance is clean. Too clean. But the fear in her voice didn't sound clean. It sounded old. Like she'd been afraid for a long time, and tonight it finally had a name. "Listen to me," I said softly. "Right now, we're not talking about rules. We're talking about you staying alive. Do you see a door? A window? Are you in a room you can lock?" "I'm in the laundry room," she whispered. "There's a lock. A cheap one." "Good. Lock it." A click. A faint metallic sound. Then her breathing again, faster now, thin and controlled. "Is he inside the house right now?" I asked. "Yes." "How do you know?" "I heard the front door," she said. "But I didn't hear it open. I felt it. The air changed." That made my skin prickle. I glanced at my partner 2 desks over. He was chewing gum and scrolling through something on his phone, oblivious. The room smelled like stale coffee and printer toner. "Do you have a weapon?" I asked. "No." "Okay. Then we're going to use the room. The door. Your silence. I need you to tell me, are there windows in the laundry room?" "Yes." "One? Small. Can you see outside?" She paused. "It's dark." "Do you see lights, street lights, a neighbor's porch?" "A porch light," she whispered, "across the yard. And a tree. A big one." "Good. That helps. Now listen carefully." I lowered my voice as if that could shrink the world. "I'm going to keep you talking, but you're going to answer as quietly as you can. If you hear him close, if you hear the door handle, say one word. Say, now. Can you do that?" "Yes." On my screen, the location ping jumped again. It flickered to a neighborhood I recognized. Old houses, big yards, a ring of trees. The kind of place where people thought they were safe because the driveways were long. Then it snapped back to something that made no sense at all. The coordinates settled, just for a second, on the building where I was sitting. The call center. My throat tightened. I blinked, hard, like my eyes were the problem. "Ma'am," I said carefully, "what's your name?" A faint sound came through the line. Not a voice, not a footstep. Paper. Like a page being turned. I don't want to say it," she whispered. "I need something to identify you," I said. "If the line drops, I need to know who I'm looking for." Another pause. Then she said, "You can call me Mara." "Mara," I repeated. "Okay. Mara, I'm dispatching officers to you right now." I tapped the internal key and sent the call to dispatch, flagged as home invasion in progress. My hands moved automatically. Training, muscle memory. The kind of habits you build so your brain doesn't have to think when it's afraid. But my brain was thinking anyway. Paper. Turning. There shouldn't be paper in a laundry room. "Tell me what you hear," I said. "Right now. Do you hear him moving?" A long silence. Then, so faint I almost missed it, a soft rhythmic sound. A squeak. It was familiar. I'd heard it 1,000 times. It was the chair at the desk behind me, desk 12, when someone leaned back too fast. My stomach dropped as if the floor had fallen away. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. Not yet. Because if I turned around and saw someone watching me, I would break the thin, careful calm that kept my voice stable. "Mara," I said, forcing my tone to stay smooth. "Is there anyone else in the house?" "No," she whispered. Just him. Are you sure? Yes. The squeak came again, closer to the mic this time, like someone shifting their weight. I stared at the screen. The location ping trembled, then drifted back toward the neighborhood again, back and forth, like a magnet being pulled between two truths. Okay, I said. Mara, I want you to do something for me. Very slowly, very quietly. Put your ear to the door. Tell me if you can hear breathing on the other side. She did. I heard fabric brush against something, then nothing, and then, so soft it felt impossible. Breathing. Not hers. A slow inhale, a slow exhale, right against the door. My fingers went cold. Mara, I whispered, don't move. Please, she breathed. He's right there. Stay still, I said. Do not make a sound. You're doing great. You're doing exactly what you should be doing. I watched the timer on the call tick upward. Every second felt like a weight added to my chest. The breathing on her side continued, patient, like someone enjoying the moment. Then, in the background of my own room, the chair squeaked again. This time, I could hear it with my own ears, not through the phone. Someone was behind me. I clicked my mic off. My voice didn't shake, but my hand did. I reached under my desk for the small emergency button, a silent alert that would bring security from the lobby up to our floor. My fingers brushed it and froze. A hand, warm, steady, covered mine. Not hard, not threatening in the obvious way. Intimate, like a friend stopping you from making a mistake. A voice spoke near my ear, not through the phone, in the room. Don't, the voice said. The whisper was male, calm, almost bored. I kept my eyes on my screen. I could see my own reflection faintly in the glass. Pale face, wide eyes. On the line, Mara whispered. Are you still there? I clicked my mic back on with a controlled breath. I'm here, I said, louder now, as if volume could protect me. Mara, I'm here. The hand on mine didn't move. Good, the male voice behind me murmured. Good. Keep her calm. My heart hammered so hard my ribs ached. Whoever was behind me was using me like a tool. I forced myself to ask, Mara, do you have any way out? A back door? A window you can fit through? I can't, she whispered. The window is too small. Okay, I said. Then we wait. Officers are coming. I need you to keep quiet. Behind me, the male voice smiled into my ear. I could hear it. You can hear a smile. It changes the shape of words. How many minutes? He asked. I didn't answer. He pressed his thumb lightly against my wrist, right where my pulse was screaming. A reminder that he could feel my fear as clearly as I could. Tell me, he said. I swallowed. Units are close, I lied. On the line, Mara whispered. He's doing something. What do you hear? I asked. A new sound slipped through the phone. A soft scratch, metal against metal, like a key being slid into a cheap lock. My mouth went dry. Now, Mara breathed. The male voice behind me chuckled under his breath. Perfect, he whispered. That's perfect. I didn't understand. Not yet. I leaned into the mic and spoke fast, urgent but controlled. Mara, listen. If he gets the door open, I need you to go low, behind the washer, behind anything heavy. Make him come into the room. Don't fight him if you can't. Just move. Just stay alive. Do you understand? Yes, she whispered. The scratching sound stopped. Silence. Then, a soft knock. 3 gentle taps. Not violent. Not angry. Polite. Mara, a man's voice said from her side of the door. Open up. Her breath turned ragged. No, she whispered into the phone. No. He knocked again, still polite. Mara, I just want to talk. I felt the hand on my wrist tighten slightly. Behind me, the male voice in my room whispered, Tell her to open it. My blood turned to ice. What? I breathed Mike off. Tell her, he repeated. Tell her to open the door. My throat constricted. She'll die. Behind me, he leaned closer. I could smell him now. Clean soap and something metallic, like coins. That's not your problem, he said softly. Your problem is that you don't know where she is. You don't know if she's real. You don't know what you're doing. On the line, Mara's whisper shook. He knows my name. How does he know my name? I clicked my mic on. Mara, I said, forcing calm into every syllable. Do not open the door. Do you hear me? Do not open it. The hand on my wrist lifted. For a second, I thought I'd won. Then his other hand slid onto my shoulder, pressing down, keeping me in place. The man outside Mara's door spoke again, still gentle. "Mara, you called them again." She made a small sound, half sob, half gasp. I felt my stomach twist. "Again?" I repeated, before I could stop myself. Behind me, the male voice murmured, pleased. "There it is," Mara whispered. "I didn't mean to. My fingers." The man outside the door sighed like a disappointed parent. "You keep calling for help," he said. "You keep thinking someone is coming." I glanced at the dispatch log. Officers were en route, yes, but there was a delay, an accident on the highway, traffic. Minutes stretched. Behind me, the male voice whispered, "She's done this before, over and over." I clicked my mic off again. "Who are you?" I hissed through clenched teeth. He didn't answer immediately. He just watched my screen over my shoulder like he was enjoying a movie. Then he said, "Do you know how many people call for help every night, and no one believes them? Do you know how many voices you've heard and forgotten?" My mouth tasted like metal. He leaned closer. "She's been calling you," he whispered, "for a long time." On the line, Mara's breathing turned sharp. "He's unlocking it," she whispered. "I can hear it. He's..." The cheap lock clicked. The door handle turned. "Mara," I said loud, "push something against the door, now." She screamed. A short, strangled sound, like someone slammed a hand over her mouth. Then the phone clattered. The line filled with muffled noises, fabric, struggle, a thud. My chair scraped back as I stood, adrenaline breaking the spell. The man behind me grabbed my shoulder and shoved me down again. Harder this time. "Sit," he said, voice still calm, "or I'll make this real for you too." I froze. The line went quiet. Then, softly, Mara's voice returned, but it didn't sound like a whisper anymore. It sounded flat, controlled. "Hello?" she said. I stared at the screen, blood roaring in my ears. "Mara?" I said. A pause. Then the man's voice came through the phone, the same male voice that was behind me. "Hi," he said, cheerful now. "Thanks for staying on the line. You're doing great." My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might vomit. The voice behind me, no longer whispering, said into my ear, "Now you see." I didn't move. I didn't breathe. On the phone, he continued, "I needed you to feel it. Needed you to understand what it's like when you tell someone help is coming, and it isn't. When you say stay calm, and you can't." I managed to whisper, "She's dead." He laughed softly. "Maybe. Maybe not." My hands clenched into fists under the desk. I forced myself to keep my voice steady, because if I broke, I was done. "What do you want?" I asked, mic on, voice strained but clear. He sounded pleased that I finally asked. "I want you to make a choice," he said. "I'm going to give you an address, a real one, not a ping that jumps around, a real place." My brain raced. "You're confessing," I said. "You're recording this." "Of course," he said, and I could hear the smile. "So are you." Behind me, his hand tightened on my shoulder, grounding me in the nightmare. On the phone, he said, "Here's the game. You can send them to the address, and maybe you save someone. Or you can press your little panic button and bring security running, and maybe you save yourself." My eyes flicked to the button under my desk. My hand ached to hit it. "But if you press it," he continued, voice gentle, "the call ends. And whatever is happening at that address keeps happening." My mouth went dry. "Tell me," he said, "what kind of person are you?" My thoughts flashed. My training, my rules, the endless lectures about protocol. But protocol didn't cover a man in your room holding you hostage with a voice. I swallowed and said, "Give me the address." Behind me, he exhaled, satisfied. On the phone, he spoke slowly, like a bedtime story. 17 Maple Hollow Road, he said. "Blue house, big tree out front, porch light across the yard." The exact details Mara had described. It was real. I sent it to dispatch with shaking fingers, tagging it as active threat, hostage situation, immediate response. On the line, the man hummed. "Good," he said. "Good choice." Behind me, the hand on my shoulder loosened, as if he approved. Then he leaned in close and whispered something that wasn't on the phone. "Now," he said, "we see if they're fast enough." I heard sirens in the distance, faint through the building walls. Maybe outside, maybe in my head. On my screen, dispatch confirmed. Units redirected, ETA updated. I kept my voice even. "They're coming," I said into the phone, not sure if I was talking to him or to myself. He laughed softly. "That's what you always say." A new sound came through the line, another phone ringing in the background, far away. Another operator answering a different call. Another voice saying, 911, what's your emergency? The man behind me took his hand off my shoulder and stood up. The chair squeaked. I didn't turn. I couldn't. He stepped away, slow, unhurried. Before he left, he leaned down and murmured into my ear, almost kindly, remember this feeling? Then he walked out, just like that. No running, no panic, like he belonged there. I sat perfectly still until I heard the door to the floor click open and close. Only then did I slam the silent alert button with trembling fingers. Security rushed in minutes later. Supervisors, questions, chaos. I gave them everything. The number, the address, the voice, the threat. And then, because I couldn't stop myself, I checked the dispatch feed. Units had arrived at 17 Maple Hollow Road. They found the blue house. They found the big tree. They found the laundry room door ripped from its hinges. And inside, crouched behind the washer, trembling, alive, a woman with a phone in her hand, eyes wide, whispering the same word over and over, as if it was the only thing keeping her from disappearing. Please, she kept saying. Please, please. They asked her name. She stared past them, as if she could still hear him breathing on the other side of the door. Then she whispered, you can call me Mara. Later, when they pulled the call logs, they found something that made my skin crawl. Mara had called 911 11 times in the last year, always from different numbers, always the same voice, always the same words. And every time the location ping had flickered, once, twice, between her house and the call center. Like the truth had been trying to warn us, like someone had been standing right behind me long before tonight. When the sun finally rose, pale and cold through the windows, they escorted me out of the building. As I stepped into the parking lot, my phone buzzed with an unknown number. A single voicemail. No caller ID, just a breath, and then a whisper, warm and amused. Help is coming.